All right, next up is another essential element for acoustic rhythm guitar. And what we're going to do is we're going to embellish some of these first position chords we're playing by bringing in some chordal superimpositions. And what that means is when I'm playing a given chord, I'll change a couple of the notes to briefly make reference to a different chord, and it spices up the harmony and the sound of the accompaniment part and makes it more interesting. And you're going to hear this all over the acoustic rhythm work of Pete Townsend from The Who, and Keith Richards with the Rolling Stones, and James Taylor and the Beatles. You know, it's just another essential part of creating a solid acoustic rhythm guitar part. This example is also in the key of G, so for my one chord, I'm just fretting that 6th fret of the low E string. A string is muted, open D, G, and B strings, and the pinky on top. The reason I use this fingering is because it keeps these two fingers, the index and middle, available to come down 2nd fret of the D string and 1st fret of the B string to create what is basically a C chord with G in the bass. So that's written C/G. Like that. And then, moving to C, I'm going to do a similar type of movement, create the sound of a chord a 4th above the chord that I'm on. See, G, when I play C on top, C is a 4th above G. When I go to C, I'm going to do the same thing. A 4th above C would be F. And that's why it sounds nice as a little change of pace. Then when I get to D, the 5 chord in the key of G, I'm going to make a brief reference to G, which is a 4th above D. And this is a real Pete Townsend thing to do. He does this all the time. The index finger comes off the G string so it's open, but the note on the high string goes up. So you have one note going down and one going up. 1, 2, 3, and... Let's take this concept and move it up a whole step to the key of A. And we're going to create the same effect by augmenting each chord in this very simple 1-4-5 progression, now in the key of A, by making brief reference to the 4 chord above whatever chord we're on. So in the key of A, this is how you do that. So if I start with an A chord, like this, I can bring my ring finger down 2 frets higher on the D string, middle finger down 1 fret higher on the B, and that creates a D over A, D/A chord. Then on the D chord, which is the 4 chord, because we're in the key of A now, so 1 is A, 4 is D, 5 is E. Over the 4 chord D, I'm going to move up to a G triad, the notes B, D, and G, over that open D string. Then over E, I make the sound of the 4 chord by sliding up, barring across the 2nd fret on the D and G string, and have my ring finger 4th fret of the A. So that's E, and this is A with an E bass. Then we go back to D. And this is very Pete Townsend-like. And also Cat Stevens, you hear rhythm parts like this on a song like Peace Train. 1, 2, 3, and...